Good morning internet and welcome back to the channel. So it's Monday morning, it's the 21st of October. I don't know why I'm smiling so much because the weather today, oh dearie me, it's really bad. Although I suppose it's pretty uniform north of Europe up this way into the UK. It's absolutely terrible. It's been throwing it down all night. Should we have a look? Go to the weather. There's my phone again butting in as usual. It has actually slowed down a bit, the rain, but as you can see, it is not nice at all, I mean, look at that. There's a lot of clouds up there. I mean, it is still early. It's only 9:05, so you know, but the weather forecast for the whole day is pretty bad today, so I don't think by any means there's going to be any bike riding going on today. So basically, I thought to myself, oh, hang on, bit of a bad camera angle there, eh? Let's just get this right. So over the past few videos that I've done, there's been talk about chain lube, right? And it's a fascinating subject really, because there's it all really started the other day, I think it was, when I said, oh, I'm off to see if I can get some chain lube, because I used to use, as I've shown you many times before, this from Lidl, this W5 from Lidl, and it's not bad. To be fair, it's not too bad, but you can't get it for love and money now. But the only trouble is with it dries, even though it's like a sort of it comes out like an oil spray. Once it gets on the chain, it's not as bad as wax, because I hate chain wax. I really detest chain wax. To me, I can't see the point why anybody uses chain wax. But again, that's me. There's going to be people out there that say, well, you know, chain wax is the best thing. Well, that's great. The trouble is, right, and this is the bit that I think we sort of missed the point on, or a lot of us missed the point on, especially young riders, you know. Because let's face it, you walk into an accessory shop now and, you know, there's tins of the stuff everywhere. And the prices, I mean, you know, the one good thing about that little stuff is it was dirt cheap. But some of the stuff that they sell, you know, you're looking at up to 20 quid for a tin. What it is across here. Absolutely ridiculous. Right, okay, so getting back to what I was going to say. Even the little stuff, it goes very like, it almost dries like a semi-wax. And the trouble is with that, it's really sticky and it adheres to the chain. I get it, it doesn't fling off, but everything sticks to it. That's the problem. And the trouble is, and I think this is the point, like I said, young riders more so miss, is that when you buy a chain, you've got your O-rings or X-rings, which are factory installed and lubed up. It's as simple as that. When we put on the lube on our chains, it's just to make a nice smooth transmission for the rollers to roll off the teeth on the sprockets. That's it. You're not going to get any more lubrication into the O-rings. You're not. It's sealed. So basically, it's just to get a nice transmission of the chain going round. So if you've got a wax or a sticky lube that everything sticks to, you know, you've got all the grime on the road and then it dries off, that's like mild abrasive it becomes, and it, in actual fact, you're doing your chain more harm. And you can't, even if you just wipe that over with a rag, it doesn't come off. It's quite so. So I've decided now, forget the lubes, right? I'm just not going to do it. I've gone back. I've turned the clock back. If only I could, to, you know, to the 70s, 60s and 70s. Whereas, and it's strange enough, and I apologise because I could look back in a comment, but I'd be searching forever. Someone left me a comment to do with the chains and said about, do you remember the days when we used to get our chains and we used to boil them in oil? Well, that's true. That's what we used to do. You know, you drive your mothers mad. You know, you get the old saucepan on the gas stove, fill it up, you know, with oil and boil the chain. But of course, in them days, the old chains didn't have O-rings or X-rings in it. So now, unfortunately, we can't really do that. But that's all we used to use, isn't it? You know, we used oil. That's what we used. Because oil is a natural lubricant. It's been a lubricant for years. Now, when you think about it, Scott oilers. Now, Pete, right? Pete, he follows me. He uses a Scott oiler, I think. I'm pretty sure he does. He'll probably turn around now and say, oh, I haven't used it. No, he does. I'm sure he does, because he was on about it the other day. And it is just natural oil. You can't go wrong. When back in the 70s, because then there was very little chain lube. You wouldn't walk into your local bike store and get chain lube. It was oil. It was chain oil that you bought. And like the old chainsaws, innit? I mean, chainsaws have chainsaw oil. That's what they use. It's a chain. It's a chainsaw oil. And, you know, okay. Now, what I've always used years ago was gear oil. Just your bog standard, everyday, run-of-the-mill gear oil. Is it 70, 80, something like that? I've got it over there. 75, 80, I think it is. Right. The reason that I stopped using it, I suppose, was laziness. You know, you get your tin and you stand at the back of the wheel and psh, that's it, isn't it? You know, all the way around, job done. Nice and easy. Even easier if you're away, if you're touring, which I mean, I used to tour a lot of my BMW. The good thing with that, it was shaft drive. So you had none of this chain malarkey, which I got to be honest, you know, in a way, I'm glad that for 90% of my touring was done on BMWs that were shaft driven. It does take out the, oh, hang on, I've got to check my chain, or I've got to clean my chain, or does my chain need adjusting, or you know what, I've got to go out and I've got to lube the chain. So, yeah, I think the trouble is, it's when you're out and about, you know, you go on holiday on your bike or a bit of touring on the bike, if you've got an aerosol spray can, it does make it easier, and that's what I did. Basically it's down to just convenience. But really speaking, you know, I did my chain right on the Gorilla that I bought, which was covered in wax, you know, and yes, wax that was put on, it is a lubricant, but there was that much of it. It would have got, my roads here are awful. The only good thing about this rain is it's going to wash the roads until they cut down the next lot of cord, and it's going to be even worse because the fields are waterlogged, but that's beside the point. But the trouble is, I've been riding the last few rides that I've been out on this, and the roads have been really bad, you know. Now, the good thing is, I've got that wax off. I had to get the wax off because it would have stuck, it would have been terrible. And I put the gear oil on this chain, yeah, and it's great. The chain, I'll show you, you know, in a minute. I put it on once. There's plenty, it gets in, it doesn't fling all over the place. If any does come off, the good thing is it flings the dirt off with it. You can just get a rag and you can wipe it off because it's oil. It doesn't go hard, it doesn't dry, it doesn't set. For me, I'm not going back. This is what I intend to do now with all my bikes. It will be the gear oil. And you know what, if I go away and I do a bit of touring, you get yourself a little tub. What I do, look, I used, where's it gone? Hang on a sec. I use this, look. I got this brush, yeah? And I just put it on the top of the chain, you know? Put it on, not the whole length of the chain, did a bit, spun it, did a bit, spun it, did a bit, then turned it round. It distributes itself all the way around, because you don't want loads on when it's all gonna, as he just drops his phone. Hang on a sec. You don't want loads on. It's all right, it's in one piece. You know, so yeah, that's what it's going to be for me now. I am going to stick to gear oil. It's cheap, you know. I mean, you get a 2 litre tub of gear oil. I think it cost me, I think it was €8, €9. That's going to last me for, I don't know, probably longer than I will. I mean, I've got the 3 bikes, you know. The 350 Meteor, the Himalayan 411 and the Gorilla 450, all with chains on. I don't mind doing my chains on a regular basis, I really don't. My Himalayan chain, you know, I mean, I've adjusted that once since I've had the bike, and the chain's brilliant, you know, absolutely great. So there you go. It pays, you know, look after your chains, the chains will look after you. Right, so getting back to this one, look. Oh, hang on, just before I drop, no, we'll do this first. I mean, I did this, and let's see if I can get this. I mean, look at that. You know, if I turn that round, I want to try and get a bit of light on it, but, you know, that chain is still nice and clean. Now, I haven't cleaned this since, you know, and that's with gear oil. It's really lubed up. It's really nice. It hasn't sprayed everywhere, look. You know, it's not all over the back wheel. You know what I mean? There's dust and a bit of mud on the back wheel, but I mean, it's like that. So, yeah, I think, for me, personally, that's going to be what I'm going to do. Right, now, while I'm here in a chatty mood, my little stack truck, look, hey, coming on, cleaned off, hey, look at that. Oh dear, I know it's nothing to do with motorbikes, but you know what, I think I showed you in one of the other videos, I'm just going to get it back there, that the wheels on this thing were steel wheels, and that with all the roller bearings inside, obviously, you know, because a stack truck, no good plastic wheels, is it not really supposed to carry weight. And so what I needed was some tyres, because the tyres and the tubes were absolutely shot. But I came across these. Unbelievable, these are. Look at this. I ordered these, he says, when he gets in. Hang on, I'm sure one's open. Or maybe not. I ordered these, right? Brand new bearings in, yeah? Look at this. Brand new bearings, steel wheels, and the nicest thing is, these are solid tyres. Hey? Wow, what a good... Okay, now, so that's the whole lot, right? Everything, yeah? When I've actually cleaned up the two little axles, you know, and I've repainted that. How much do you reckon for these? Hey? I mean, I've got to be honest. And these were bought locally. These were bought off a store here in France. So trust me, the French don't give nothing away. They really don't. So I'd have guessed that something like that would probably be about 70, 80 euro. I'd have thought for them, you know, 32 euro, not each, that's for two, 32 euro. So for 32 euro and a bit of paint, I've got me, and this is a really good heavy duty stacker truck, I've got me a stacker truck. And in this weather, it gives me something to do as well, doesn't it? Excuse me. It's right. Well, that's about it really, because I don't think there's anything else to chat about. I just wanted to get my opinions over, and they are my opinions, because I think we all get, I'm back on the bike now, forget the stacker truck, I've jumped. I think, you know, we all get a bit complacent with a lot of things, and we tend to just, you know, we go with the flow with a lot of these things, and we end up spending money that we don't really need for a product that probably isn't doing as good a job as what the manufacturers would like us to believe. I think that you can't go wrong lubing up your chain with good old-fashioned oil, and gear oil, you know, it's a heavy duty oil. I mean, this is my opinion, it's just down to me, but you know what, until all this fanciness coming in over the, you know, started off in the 90s and the 2000s and today, you know, there's an aerosol for everything, isn't there? Yeah, I don't think you can go far wrong. Anyway, that's my opinion. I'd love to hear your opinions. I'm sure I'm going to, but that's what makes the world go round. So if you've got nothing better to do today, and if your weather's terrible and you're not at work, and you're like me, you're fortunate enough to be retired and having a whale of a time riding your bikes, not because I live in a terrible area of France. Oh, it's awful. It is. You know what? I was going to go on though, but once I start, that's it, I'm on a roll. The Breton, what a shame, what a beautiful area. actually it's so picturesque, and it's a beautiful area. And when we get the rare opportunity to get out on our bikes, the scenery and the roads are fantastic, you know, and I'm even luckier because I live right by the coast, and you know, I get some beautiful rides in. But the weather here is absolutely awful, and that is an actual fact. I think Finisterre, that's where I live, which is part of the Breton. Finisterre, we're the bit that sticks out in the Atlantic. We get, and I think I'm right, I don't know if we were the first or second, department in France, the most rain. It's a joke, and it's getting worse. It is. I mean, normally we have terrible winters, wet, horrible winters, wind. We get a lot of wind here, trust me. And this year, though, it's stretched into the summer, and it just hasn't stopped. It really has been bad. And sometimes you got to look at it and think, if you're an outdoor person, which unfortunately I am, everything I like doing, you know, family walking, I love that. You know, days out with the kids got to be a big one. Motorcycle riding, I like riding my push bike, I fly drones. I'm not a sit down, watch telly, read a book sort of guy, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you are, that's fantastic. I'm not. I just, it's not for me, you know. And so, you know, unfortunately, if you live in an area like this that does suffer with really bad weather patterns, anyway, that's it. Right, I'm going. If you've liked this video, give me a thumbs up. That would be absolutely great. If you want to chat, give me a comment. That's even better. And I do believe that yesterday went over the 960 followers, subscribers, whatever you want to call yourselves. I absolutely think that's brilliant. Wouldn't it be great? I know it's not, you know, people get this weird and silly idea that you hit 1,000 and you're away, you know. They send you a checkbook. No, it really isn't like that. In fact, it's awful. It's a personal aim for me, which is looking like it could be happening. Right, on that one, I'm going. I really am going this time. Take care of yourself. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.